Hello! In this video I'm working on my Pixies. All their face-ups are done, so this is working on some of the clothing. This is not a tutorial, more of how I did it. All of the clothing is hand sewn. Some of the video is sped up because I sew quite slow. The top you see me working on here was made without using a pattern. This hoodie I made using patterns. I used a block pattern made from the doll directly using the cling film and masking tape method. Being very careful not to damage the doll when I cut it off because I had already done the face up and the body blushing. I think it turned out super cute, although the hood is a little bit tight because she has quite voluminous hair and obviously the big ears. All of the Pixies got a pedicure and a little manicure. This just adds an extra dimension, I think, to the dolls and looks really adorable. Her hair, as you can see, is stuck up quite a bit. It's very voluminous, as I mentioned, but not quite the right style. So here I'm going to solve that problem using hair bubbles. These are really handy for styling dolls' hair. But as you can see with the first one, I managed to get it in the wrong place. And it was really difficult to remove again. So with a little bit of faffing, I managed to remove it from the doll's head and try again. This time I got it pretty much where I wanted it the first time, though technically the second time. And I'm going to use a second hair bubble just below the ears to keep these other pieces of hair in place. Once I've got that on, I'm just refining the style by pulling down those hairs that aren't tight enough to the head. And she's going to go away for a few days while her hair sets in the style I would like. So here we are onto my little boy Pixie. His face art came out really cute, as with the others. I sculpted his ears from mini put over a wire armature. His eyes and lips have had a coat of acrylic varnish in gloss. The gloss has not come out super glossy, which I'm really happy about. Actually, I didn't want them to be really shiny. And I gave him slightly wild eyebrows. The two coloured hair was my husband's idea, as I couldn't decide on which colour I preferred. Pretty standard for me. All these dolls were Cave Club dolls that I have altered. All of them have the ears, some of them have some body modifications too. Here is the fabric I make his outfit from. They are two stretchy vests that my sister donated to me, and I'm going to use two colours to keep with the theme. This is the block pattern I created with the cling film and masking tape method. You can see there is two trouser pieces, back and front, a right sleeve, back and 2 front pieces. I cut them out and get a fresh piece of paper to lie them on to create the new pattern. Ta-da! The pattern that I have created. You might notice a couple of different things. I combined the 2 front pieces to make one new front piece. Let's cut them out. I'm just laying them out here for you to be able to see more clearly. I notice there is an extra piece, and that is the hood. I took the existing pattern from the hood I made for the hoodie on the doll in the beginning of this video, and I lengthened the front of it and then shortened the tail of the hood to give me this new piece. So I start with the red fabric and the back piece, which needs to be laid on the fold of the fabric, the straight edge in line with the fold. Then I pin the front piece, and then move on to the trouser pieces. These are all the panels that I want in red. Takes a little bit of fiddling to make sure that I am using the fabric in the most economical way. Don't really like to waste fabric, and I will save every tiny scrap that I can. Once they are all cut out, all nice and neat, I put them to one side and get green fabric. Again, it's folded like the red, and I cut out the pieces I want in green. This is only 2 pieces, the sleeve and the hood. I use a fair few more pins on the hood in this. So now I have all the pieces all laid out here, and I'm going to start with trousers. The front pieces, you may have noticed, have a dart in them, so that is where I will start to fold them in half, right sides together, and then sew up the 2 darts, making sure, of course, they are one left and one right. You won't believe how many times I get these things wrong. Here is the thread I'll be using. It is thread designed to use with an overlocker. It's the one I had that matched closest in colour. Making sure I get enough thread, and then thread the needle. And at this point, quality control had to step in and make sure I was doing things to her standard. She gets very upset if I drop my standards, and they are not to her very high standards. She has been doing this a long time. She has quality control checked all of my dolls in the past, my sewing, face up, absolutely everything, and I have to have her approval before I can continue with any project. Here are the trouser front. With the darts sewn up, I place them down with the right sides facing up. I pick up the trouser backs and place them right sides together on the back of the fronts, making sure that they match at the edges. Of course, I make a mistake and do this wrong the first time and have to unpick my first trouser leg, which I have not shown here because no one wants to see that. So I lay them out again and put them around the right way, and then sew the 2 trouser legs individually. Once I've sewn the 2 trouser legs, I then try one on the doll to make sure I like the fit and don't need to make any kind of adjustment. I think they are about right. So I go ahead and put the 2 halves together, making sure they are right sides together, so one has to be inside out. I have to place one inside the right way. This is a little bit silly. I make sure I get all the edges of the fabric lined up and the seam before I sew from the front waistband to the back waistband around under the crotch area. Quality control had to get involved again, of course. Mainly to make sure I get it right. So I'm just trying them on the doll to make sure I am happy with their fit. They look really nice and relaxed fitting, which is just what I wanted. It needs a waistband though and a cuff on the bottom of the trouser legs, so I'm going to use the green to put a waistband on, which I also elastic into also, and I'm going to put the same green on the bottom of the trouser leg. I was getting ready to put the waistband on the trousers and thought quality control should be involved, so I went to find her. Only to find that I think she got fed up with my antics and I had tired her out. Bless her. She deserves the break. Doing all the waistband and the trouser leg was quite fiddly and time consuming. So once it was done, it was actually the next day. So I tried them on the doll and fit beautifully. I think though that he needs some patch pockets on the back of the trousers, so I'm going to get the green fabric again and attach 2 little pockets onto the back on his bum cheeks. So here they are attached. As you can see, quality control had to come along and make sure I had done it to her standard as usual. I think she was happy with it. So with quality control's approval, I move on to making the top. I start by laying out the back piece, face up, can get the two front pieces and put them on top of the back piece with right sides together, making sure I have them the right way round. Then I will sew together at the shoulder seams. With the pieces attached at the shoulders, the next step is to attach the sleeves, remembering that I cut this out with the right sleeve pattern, so I need to make sure I put these the right way round. This takes me a little bit of time, you see my hesitation, because I don't want to get this wrong. So I'm just checking the fit of the sleeve into the armhole. I think it's a good fit, so I'm going to go ahead and put the sleeves in, and then once I've attached the sleeve, I will sew up the sleeve seam and down the side seam of the top to give me the little hoodie base. It's starting to look really cute in this little hoodie. I think I need to add contrast trim. I will do that, so obviously the green and the red are just like other trousers. But before I do that, I need to do the hood. Look at the hood pattern pieces, make sure they are right sides together, which is how I cut them out. And I am going to sew around the outside edge of the hood, which is actually the centre seam. Then I'll try it on the doll again, and it looks absolutely adorable with all the edging in place. This was an afterthought. I had not actually planned all this edging on the trousers or the little hoodie. I think it's turned out really cute. I think to finish it off, he just needs some little patch pockets on his hoodie and a Velcro fastening on the front. So I'm going to salvage the Velcro off of this Ariel skirt from an Ariel doll that was donated to me. And I'm going to attach it to the front of his hoodie. It's really tough to sew going through Velcro by hand. It's not advisable. If you have a thimble, it's a really good idea to use one. I also put a little cord in the bottom of his hoodie and put little knots at the end. This again was some jewellery cord I had lying around. I used to make jewellery with my sister. He's come out so adorable. I think he is my favourite of the four. There is a little problem on 3 of the doll's feet. The sealant is starting to peel away between the toes. I will have to deal with this at another time when the weather is nicer. The weather is a little bit on the turbulent side at the moment in the UK. One minute it's bright sunshine, the next it is torrential rain and gales within half an hour. Gotta love the UK weather. So I put him away for the time being, and I get out first doll you saw in this video. This has been 3 days since I put her to one side to let her hair set, and I removed the band. I'm very happy with the way the hair has set. So I'll put her to one side again and get out the next one, which needs a little bit of work. I'm going to be putting a cord or ribbon into her throw for the beach. She's wearing a bikini underneath this throw. I've got an organza ribbon I'm thinking of using, or I have this thin satin ribbon. I can't make up my mind right now. You'll see in a second that I chose to use neither. And use some jewellery cord instead with some glass beads at the bottom. And I tied a little knot at the end so the little beads won't fall off. I think this worked better, it had a better weight to it. Now I'm happy with it. I think she is complete. I'll put her away carefully. So I'm just showing you the last of the 4 pixies that you haven't seen yet. If you follow me on Facebook, you may have seen a few photos of her, but she has a very different vibe with her party dress. They're all adorable. And here are all 4 of them together as well, so you can see them. I sew a little vest for the boy off camera and a little shrug for the one with party dress also, which I'll put in another video, part 2, to show you how I box them. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'm so sorry about the terrible audio. It's the first time I'm recording audio on my tablet and didn't realise it was going to be so bad. So there we are. It is what it is, guys. Have a lovely day. I hope to see you again. Bye.